So let's talk about assignment 2. Assignment 2 in this class is to create a Mad Libs. Anybody know Mad Libs from maybe when you were a kid? It's a clever way that we use fun to teach the parts of speech, adjective, verb, noun, so on, to kids when they're growing up. And the way we do it is we have this funny little story, and it has blanks in it where it has something like an adjective, and you choose an adjective to put in each of these spots. And it's always like, when you're a kid, it's always like farts and, whatever dirty words you can think up with your friends. And then you read the story and it's supposed to be funny. So what I want you to do is use either string format or F string. You can choose. You need to get user input. If you're using the template I provided, the number of blanks is already there. If you want to create your own Mad Libs story, I'm looking for about 4 or 5 different inputs. So you're getting input from a user, and each line in the code should be commented with a brief explanation. This is something that's standard for each of our assignments, and there's a template available. So let me show you what I'm looking for first. So maybe I create a string called strMadlib, and if you want a string in Python to span multiple lines, you use 3 quotation marks at the beginning and end, and then your lines, you can have a string that spans multiple lines. Otherwise, everything's got to be on one row. So this is what I'm doing with that. I like str plural noun are so stradj1. Now remember, each one of these placeholders that I'm putting in is going to be a variable that I'm going to get. I like to str verb. Okay, and remember, I can do multiple lines here, so I can do this. So I'm just going to do 3. So there is my Mad Lib. And if I make it an F string, you can see a couple things happen. Okay, the first thing that happens is these get highlighted a different color because now it's looking for those variables. But also, I don't have those variables defined yet. So when it doesn't find that variable, it recognizes that it should be a variable. It says, I don't see that anywhere in your code above here. So it's going to underline it because that would produce an error. I can't have an F string that substitutes variables in that don't exist yet. So what I want to do is I want to ask the user for input. So I'm going to say str plural noun equals input, give me a plural noun. Okay, and you can see now I've defined that variable as the product of the result of the input function. Now it's not underlined anymore because that exists. So I need to do the others. Stradj1 equals input, give me an adjective, and then str verb, input, give me a verb. Okay, so now I have defined all of those. I've defined the variables, so it's going to ask the user these questions. The user types them in. It goes into those variables, And then whatever the input gets put into that F string, strmadlib. The last thing I need to do is just print it out. Okay, so there is the program. Notice the order of things. If I'm using an F string, I'm going to define the variables, then I'm going to put the variables in using the F string, then I'm going to print it. So now, when I run this, it's going to give me a plural noun, houses, give me an adjective, pink, throw. Okay, so now it's going to take those words that I typed in and put them into the Madlib. Okay, so let's get to, if we go into module 2 here, and I go into A2 Madlibs, you can see here, I've got a template file. And I can just, the easiest thing, I could download this. It's a Python file, so I could download it and open it in there. But it's sometimes easier just to copy and paste and then fix it from there. So if I paste that, it comes up with some weird errors because of the text. But you can see this is part of the comment up here. And then you can see here, I've got Madlib's text. And if I F string that, now I can see here are the things that I need to ask the user for. So I'm just going to start up here with ADJ1 equals input. Okay, so now I've already connected the user input here to that first slot. So I'm just going to go through this. Your font won't be a million points like mine is because I have to be able to show you on the screen with some legibility. So you'll be able to see the whole thing on one screen. But you can see that triple quote allows that to be a multi-line paragraph, and we just go through and find all of those or define all of those above that, and then below it, we're just going to print that out. And that is assignment 2. So this is just practice with creating these, wiring that up, and making it work. Like I said, you're welcome to create your own text or use mine. I don't care. But if you create your own, I'm just looking for like at least 4 or 5 words to sub in. So